Washington, D.C. just cooled off something wild. 36,000 new housing units a full year ahead of schedule. But that's just the start. We're talking billion-dollar neighborhood makeovers, a sky-high park over the Anacostia, and maybe even the Commanders coming home. This isn't just a facelift, it's a full-blown transformation. By the end of this video, you'll know more about what's coming to DC in 2025 than most people living there right now. Let's dig in. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that made urban planners across the country do a double take. DC's Housing Production Trust Fund. It didn't just meet expectations, it blew them out of the water. We're talking $1.3 billion invested and real results to show for it. Back when the city announced it wanted to add 36,000 new housing units by 2025, the reaction was skeptical, to say the least. Some folks called it unrealistic. Housing advocates said it was way too ambitious, and city planners, they warned about delays, red tape, and budget gaps. Well, fast forward to now, and they were all wrong. Here's the thing though, this isn't just a story about cranking out more apartments, it's about how they're built differently. These developments are pushing the boundaries of what urban housing can be, and other cities are taking notes. Look at the Faircliff. It's been called the greenest residential project DC has ever seen. Sure, the $93.2 million price tag stands out, but it's what's inside that really matters. We're talking all electric systems, solar panels, green roofs, and next-level energy efficiency. The building's actually designed to generate as much energy as it uses. That's net zero. And it could become the blueprint for future developments, not just in DC, but across the country. And stick around because in just a minute, I'll show you what's happening at the RFK Stadium site. That one's going to flip the expectations on their head. Now, the Faircliff's impressive, but it's not the only big name on the list. Over in Butler Point, the Vermeer is turning old industrial lots into high-end living spaces. This $162.7 million project is bringing in over 500 luxury units. Not too long ago, this area was practically empty after dark. Now, it's one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the city. Waterfront views, a short walk to Audi Field, it's become a magnet for new residents. But here's where it really gets interesting. If you map out where all the housing is popping up, a clear trend starts to show. Ward 6 is leading the pack. We're talking 20,000 units already completed and another 8,600 in the pipeline. That's not a coincidence. Ward 6 includes Navy Yard, Capitol Hill, and Southwest DC. Basically the sweet spot for young professionals and families who want to be close to downtown without giving up green space or waterfront access. And just wait until you see the prices at some of these Navy Yard units. Buyers there are scoring modern designs, amenities, and walkability that cost way more in most other major cities. But what's really cool is how Ward 6 momentum is creating a ripple effect. Other wards are stepping up, trying to bring in similar projects. So this housing boom is not just sticking to the flashy areas, it's reaching neighborhoods that haven't seen serious investment in years. Some of these places are about to look completely different thanks to policy changes I'll dive into a bit later. And that's a big deal. DC is doing something that a lot of cities struggle with. They're spreading growth, not just concentrating it. Instead of pushing long-term residents out, they're building new options across the board. That kind of balance is rare, and it's setting DC up for a more inclusive future. So while everyone's talking about housing, the infrastructure projects opening in 2025 are going to completely change how people actually live and move around DC. Let's take a look. And if you're still here, that means you like what you're seeing, and that's awesome. Put a lot of effort into keeping the content fresh and relevant so you get the real estate info that actually helps you make smart decisions. Subscribe to my channel and stay in the loop with the best updates, tips, and insights. Who knows, your dream home might be just around the corner. So here's something pretty cool. There's a $92 million project that's finally bridging a divide that split DC for decades, literally. The 11th Street Bridge Park is DC's first ever elevated park stretching across the Anacostia River and is opening sometime in 2027. But this isn't just any old bridge. It's an X-shaped green space with performance stages, an environmental education center, and plenty of spots for people from both sides of the river to hang out and connect. Construction started just now on May 25, and the vibe here is about more than just crossing water. It's about building community. Why does this matter so much? For generations, the Anacostia River has been a hard boundary keeping East and West DC pretty separate. This park isn't just a shortcut, it's a new public space that's bringing neighborhoods together in a way they haven't experienced before. Now, the Environmental Education Center is a standout. It'll offer environmental programs to communities hit hardest by pollution and climate change. Imagine kids and students learning about river ecology, urban sustainability, and environmental justice right in their own neighborhood. It ties in perfectly with all the sustainability standards popping up in DC's new developments, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. And here's something else you might not have expected: a full-on transportation shakeup. Metro's rolling out the Better Bus network, and it's massive. We're talking about 25 lane miles of bus routes planned compared to just 70 miles now. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a total game changer. After years of costly metro rail delays and overruns, WMATA pivoted towards a faster, more scalable fix: a $4 billion bus network overhaul. Originally, the plan was to pour all the cash into expanding metro rail, but budget blowouts and delays forced planners to rethink. Buses turned out to be smarter, faster, cheaper options. With dedicated lanes, more frequent service, and tech upgrades, the Better Bus network is making bus rides competitive with driving, especially around walkable entertainment districts I'll get to later. But wait till you hear about Deanwood. This neighborhood's getting a total facelift. Around Deanwood Metro Station, new mixed-use buildings are going up: residential, retail, and community spaces that turn the station area into a real destination. And check this out. They're building a $24 million library there, but it's not just for checking out books. Think tech hubs, meeting rooms, and programs for all ages. It's becoming a community anchor, kind of like what's planned for the big cultural expansion at the Kennedy Center, which I'll break down soon. Now, these infrastructure changes are setting up some of the most ambitious mixed-use developments in DC history, and that's what we're talking about now. So, there's one big project that might bring the Washington Commanders back to DC, and another that's turning an old filtration site into a whole new neighborhood. Honestly, the scale of what's happening right now is unlike anything DC has seen before. Everyone's buzzing about the RFK Stadium redevelopment, but most folks don't really know what's actually planned. It's not just knocking down the stadium and building something fresh. The whole 170-acre site is being reimagined as a mixed-use community with condos, townhomes, retail, and entertainment spaces. Sure, there's talk about new stadium for the Commanders, there's space for it, but the real story is how this will create a brand new neighborhood east of the Anacostia River. And here's a secret that could change the game. That RFK Stadium site sits on some of the most valuable undeveloped land in the entire DC metro area. You're walking distance from Capitol Hill, connected by metro, and there's a prime waterfront along the Anacostia River waiting to be developed. When it's finished, this won't just be another housing project. It's shaping up to be a destination that rivals places like Georgetown or Duplin Circle. And when you add in the cultural venues I'll get to next, you're looking at a totally new lifestyle hub. Now, let's talk Union Market District and its 2025 expansion, which is revealing a trend most people haven't caught on to yet. With new WeWork spaces and big corporate relocations moving in, DC is seriously competing with traditional business hubs like Northern Virginia and downtown DC. What's drawing companies? The creative, laid-back vibe of Union Market, plus easy access to the metro. And now, this expansion brings new residential towers, more food spots, retail, and flexible office spaces, perfect for startups and established businesses alike. It's creating a neighborhood where people can live, work, and play without long commutes. Then, there's Reservoir District, probably the most ambitious transformation of a historic site in recent DC history. The $137 million recreation center is complete, and 472 new residential units are rolling out throughout 2025. This project took the old water filtration plant and turned it into a model of sustainable community living. But what's special here is how they balance old and new. The historic filtration buildings are now community spaces and retail shops, while the new homes are built with green standards and renewable energy systems. It's a neighborhood that honors DC's infrastructure history while offering modern, eco-friendly living. Awesome, right? Meanwhile, the work keeps reshaping Southwest DC. That 24-acre makeover has become the gold standard for waterfront development. Other cities are trying to replicate it. The mixed homes, shops, entertainment, and public space creates a vibrant scene that locals and visitors love. And over in the Bridge District, more than 750 new units are bringing in new residents, and local businesses are keeping the neighborhood cultural real, not corporate. It's a great example of how thoughtful development can add density and amenities without losing the area's unique vibe. Let's check it out. DC's cultural scene is getting a big upgrade, and most people don't even realize it yet. One of the city's largest green roofs is coming, but it's not where you'd expect. The Kennedy Center Reach is a 65,489 square foot expansion featuring a 69,000 square foot green roof. This will change how people experience culture and outdoor space in DC. It's more than just new performance venues. It's a cultural campus meant for the whole metro area. That green roof fits into a bigger sustainability trend hitting DC's cultural institutions. The Reach design uses renewable energy and stormwater management. It's both an environmental showcase and a community resource. With more programming across Kennedy Center venues, local artists and community events will get a boost. Residents can enjoy world-class culture without the cost or hassle of traveling to New York or other big cities. Plus, upcoming policy changes will make sure cultural investments help underserved neighborhoods too. Buzzard Point's entertainment district is growing beyond just Audi Field. Restaurants, bars, and entertainment spots are popping up to keep the area lively year-round. And not just on game days. The 45Q project adds a Mashi hotel and 64 residential units to this district. This mixed-use setup keeps the neighborhood buzzing even in the off-season, creating the kind of urban energy that makes a place fun to live. The community impact data I'll share soon proves this approach works. This cluster of entertainment options is perfect for people who want to walk to dinner, catch a game, or see a show without needing a car. It's exactly the walkable lifestyle drawing young professionals and empty nesters to DC. And it's not just big venues getting attention. Neighborhood cultural centers, community theaters, and local arts groups are seeing more funding and support as part of DC's wider cultural investment plan. Now, the new policy changes behind all this reveal DC's long-term plan for sustainable growth, something most residents don't fully get. And that's exactly what we're diving into now. Here's the deal. The $1.3 billion Housing Production Trust Fund driving DC's housing boom has a new strategy, and it could shift which neighborhoods grow fastest. The updated scoring system prioritizes underserved areas. That means neighborhoods like Anacostia, Congress Heights, and Trinidad, places that haven't seen much investment lately, are about to become development hotspots. This is great news if you want to get ahead of neighborhood change. Areas that are still affordable but have good transit and potential could see better amenities and rise in property value soon. This connects back to the transportation upgrades I mentioned earlier, which are making these neighborhoods easier to reach. On the sustainability front, all new projects have to meet green building standards. That means renewable energy, green roofs, rain gardens, and energy-efficient systems are now the norm. DC wants new housing to support its climate goals, not hurt them. The most exciting project is still in the works. Poplar Point, this 110-acre site, includes more than 70 acres of parkland. It could become DC's version of Central Park, a huge green space for recreation with residential and commercial development around it. But what's cool is the environmental cleanup needed for this formal industrial site is pushing for innovative, sustainable building. This could set a national example. With parkland, waterfront, and transit all in one spot, Poplar Point is one of the most valuable undeveloped areas in the region. The community impact numbers coming next show why this matters for everyone in DC. So, looking ahead, DC plans more development around metro stations, expanded bus rapid transit, and ongoing affordable housing investments to keep neighborhoods economically diverse. And when you add up all these developments, the impact on residents is honestly remarkable. Let's take a look. Here's the number that shows this transformation is actually working for residents. $2 billion in community investment that's improving quality of life instead of just increasing property values. But one of the biggest wins, rent increases have stayed low, 1.9% in DC versus 3.4% nationally. Despite all the development and demand, housing costs have stayed fairly stable for people already living here. And get this rent control success is something other cities want to copy. DC's approach adds more housing while using affordability programs and tenant protections to prevent displacement without slowing development. That's how they're on track to add 36,000 new housing units without spiking costs. Parks, rec centers, and community spaces are spreading across neighborhoods, not just in already wealthy areas. Places like the Reservoir District Rec Center, upgraded spots at Anacostia, and new community hubs in growing neighborhoods make sure everyone benefits. Now, better transit and walkability are making car ownership optional for many. The better bus network, improved bike lanes, and walkable streets cut transportation costs and boost health and an environment. And here's a big point many miss. New housing, transit, and cultural options help multi-generational families stay in DC. Young adults can live close to parents. Seniors can age in place with better services. And families can find suitable homes without leaving the city. That's the kind of mixed-use development Union Market and RFK are delivering. Expanded cultural venues and entertainment make DC competitive with bigger cities, keeping residents who might otherwise move to places like New York or San Francisco. Finally, new community facilities, libraries, parks, rec centers. Make sure growth doesn't overwhelm services. New residents add to the tax base, helping improve services for everyone. So, what does this mean for you? DC's transformation is reshaping the city with new homes, better infrastructure, and vibrant neighborhoods that will define life here for years. Whether you live here now or want to move, these changes bring unique opportunities. Affordable housing, great culture, easy transit, and strong jobs that few cities can match. And this is just a start. DC's plans are built to keep this growth going, making the city a leading example of sustainable, affordable, and community-focused development. This is pretty exciting stuff, right? Thinking about moving to DC in 2025? Well, now's the time, and I'm here to help. After working with hundreds of buyers, I can get you deals you won't find anywhere else. Just email me at rhyme@coalitionpg.com or check the full contact info in the description. Send your questions or just say hi. I'll get back to you. And before you go, check out my next video where I'll take you through the 3 most underrated cities in Metro DC. I bet a couple will surprise you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.